Ashley Beth. This is, I don't even know what episode of Standing on Your Neck, but we are in Porto. We are in France. I have visited France once before, but that was in 2010, and it was in a city called Rennes. And now we are in Bordeaux. I was in Paris from Wednesday to Friday. Took the Eurostar from London. It goes under the English Channel. Pretty cool. And I stayed in France, Paris for a couple of days, and I'm staying with some friends that I met when I was staying in France in 2010. And once again, hospitality of friends, always good. They took me to a really good restaurant. Incidentally, there's really good wine here in Bordeaux. We haven't had a chance to have any of that yet, but lots of steak in Bordeaux, lots of duck. I've had foie gras of Bordeaux since I've been here, even though I've had foie gras before, and it's definitely like a taste you kind of have to get used to. It's earthy. It's the best way I can say it. Earthy, fatty, just really good. It's good on crackers and a little bit of grain of salt. But yeah, I went to the beach for the past 2 days, and I wanted to just keep this going with my travels because once again, I want to remember this, but I have developed my French since I've been here, and mon accent français, mes amis m'ont dit que mon français c'est meilleur que la dernière fois j'étais en France. Translation: my friends here are telling me that my French is better than the last time I was in France, and they asked me, vous pratiquez, Ashley, votre français quand tu étais aux États-Unis? Wait, no, I did not practice my French. I think, honestly, the only difference is confidence, and I always speak French better when I'm drunk, and everyone's more confident when they're drunk usually, so it's definitely a confidence thing. Foreign languages are easier to grasp, even if you've studied them, after you've been drinking for a little while. So I don't really want to show you too much of the apartment. There's not much to show. It's kind of private and also just really, just kind of standard. But the view outside is absolutely amazing. I don't think I have the ability to change my view on my iPhone right now, but we can try to see outside a little bit. Lots of old buildings. Bordeaux was a city that I've heard was built on a lot of slave money. Around the 1700s, lots of slave money, yes. And right around the time that we were being helped by the French, we were doing our Revolutionary War thing, 1770s, that kind of thing. So I don't really have a lot of lighting, but behind me are some really old buildings. Let's see if we can get a little closer. And then over here, it's just, you can see trees. But, the streets in Bordeaux and in France in general, are just gorgeous. They put a lot of detail into everything. You've got your standard rundown sections, and your businesses are always going to kind of be tacky fronts. But for the most part, Bordeaux is a beautiful city of old architecture. There's a lot of buildings, like old kind of castle buildings or like churches that were built in the 1400s, and they're gorgeous. And once again, I take photos of those, and we'll try to get those on Gonzo today. Haven't really figured that out yet. So you can see I got some sun from the beach for the past 2 days. Right now, since we are a news website, I will discuss that a big thing over here is the exit of Greece from the European Union, or the debate over whether or not that's going to happen. As I'm sure you've seen from the news in America, Greece is suffering financially. I've really asked the opinions of my friends over here, what they think about the whole situation. And a lot of people say, which is unsurprising, that there was a lot of corruption in Greece, a lot of irresponsible management of funds. There were a lot of people who were not paying their taxes. None of these sound that different from our country, right, guys? These are all things that happen, but, usually these countries are supporting each other. But I think in the case of Greece, they just had such a lack of tax paying in such a grand scale because of the culture, that they were in a pretty bad situation. And the relationships between these countries are so old that they can kind of go back and back and back. And, oh, we gave you money this time, and oh, we gave you money, and now, you do not pay us back, tu ne payes pas en return. So, yeah, they don't pay. Basically, they're saying to Greece that they haven't paid their debt, so they're not they're not really able to be bailed out, which I think the whole concept of bailouts is kind of ridiculous. I mean, you need to have a sustainable, responsible management of your funds. I know it's not easy to govern a government and people and taxes, but, you can't just be calling people for bailouts. We don't get bailouts, people. We don't get bailouts. So it's funny because in a lot of European languages, Greece is pronounced like Grèce, so Grec, le Grec. So right now it's say le Grexit en France, and in France they say the Grexit when they talk about this issue. So a lot of people seem to want to keep Greece in the European Union. There's a giant sense of fraternity in the European Union, and basically a lot of benefits as far as their citizens are concerned. When you go through customs, when I arrived in London from Boston, I went through customs. There were two lines. There's people of the European Union, so England, France, any of the countries there, or non-European Union. So obviously all the Americans are going to go to that line. And, you almost, sometimes it doesn't really matter. The lines are both kind of the same length of people, but it's the same weight time-wise, but usually just, oh, cool. It's usually a little easier if you're a European Union citizen. It's like they treat you like you're an American, traveling within your own country. It's really easy. So because of that, that bond that those countries in Europe have formed, they want to keep that bond, because a lot of people are very prideful of the fact that they can get along. I mean, especially when you consider how many hundreds of thousands of years people have been fighting in this continent, and so to see people kind of be united, it's good. And I thought about speaking some French to you, but I'd have to subtitle that, and I don't really know how to do that, because usually we just throw these videos up there. I feel like I'm not fulfilling my obligation by not turning the camera around and kind of letting you guys see what I'm looking at. Usually I did every other in the beginning. I did try to take a video of me coming to Bordeaux. I did a shared car service at Courvoisier, and I came here in 5 hours, but there was some traffic, and that was actually a really cool place, a cool way to travel. I wish there was kind of more of that. It's like Uber or Lyft, but for longer trips. So here I am, and I wasn't able to get that video, but I really, in the next 2 days that I'm here, want to try to get a video of just what I'm looking at and maybe put it to some music. Hold me to that. All right? Hold me to that. But in the meantime, I'm going to go to bed because I'm jet lagged and it's 2 a.m. here and I'm just still bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. But I just wanted to show you guys my beach tan because the beaches here, they are the same. You can still get sunburned. It's impossible to show you this. Maybe I'm not supposed to show you this. You can still get sunburned. Yeah. But it's cool. And there's my tattoos. Get another tattoo on Thursday in England. I'm excited about that. You don't get to see it yet. I won't tell you. I won't jinx it. But so hope you guys are all enjoying your summer across the pond. And je reviens le dimanche, le 19 juillet, or in English, I return Sunday, July 19th. And as much as I love France and England, I really just want to be home with my dogs and my parents and good old USA and, my own beaches and all the friends that I miss. Hopefully, this will be the start of more international correspondence as far as what's going on outside our country. It gives us really good perspective. I like the perspective that coming to Europe gives me. And honestly, it's not too expensive. You can really do a trip to Europe for the same cost it would go to Miami. It's not too much different, just a longer flight if you plan it that well. If you have that confidence, there's that word again. If you have that confidence, you can do anything. But I will finish with French. My last thing in English is this is Ashley Beth, signing off from Bordeaux, France. Et je suis excitée pour échanger avec vous toutes les expériences en France. Et je pense que c'est meilleur pour continuer à être international. Et je pense que le Grèce, c'est un problème serait sauvé très, 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 très bientôt. Mais au revoir. À bientôt.